Good morning, traders, and this is your Aussie day trade setup for today, the South African top 40. So before we get on to the charts, let's just quickly have a look at the small account where we are. So overall, the month was pretty much up and down. That's predominantly because of the sideways action in most of the markets, except for the Aussie. But last week, we just reviewed through last week. The week got off to a cracker, and then we had a bit of a wobble on Wednesday, and then an even bigger wobble on Thursday. We made some money and then promptly lost most of it. So anyway, I decided to just call it quits, especially when you get 2 days of where you got losses in 2 days in a row. For me, it just makes sense just to take a break, come back refreshed, a day or two later, and then you can get in with it. So anyway, so for the month we ended up 28%, not too bad for the month. Obviously, well below our target, but not too bad at all. I think for this week we are looking for 1,400. That's our target, 15% return. But also our daily target for today is 277 with a risk of 185. And I think the important thing is to notice the risk increases as your account grows. You increase your risk ever so slightly, keeping a 2% risk profile. And what you should be able to do is get to a point where for you 277 as a target, you're looking at 400, 500. And possibly even 1,000 Rand on really good days based on this risk profile here. Anyway, let's just look at the monthly here. So the Aussie on the monthly is completely confused. It's been so for some time now. There's no real direction here at all. We've got momentum's drying up. It is volatile, but we're just drifting along aimlessly, basically. Nobody really knows what's going on, and I suppose that's so true for the markets. The week has a massive engulfing bar, and we have closed below this trend line. I just wanted to check it wasn't extended to there, but that's the current trend line. So this was a big move down, and there we've been consolidating. You can basically call this a double top. There, and your neckline is pretty much right over there. And that's the 200 EMA on the weekly. We've closed below the alligator on the weekly as well, so that is something we really need to pay attention to. And the other thing we need to pay attention to, I'm just lining up this previous swing low here. Okay, so we can come to the daily. Okay, so that's the breakout of this, let's call it a cup and handle at the moment. So we do have two measured moves on the table here. So that's the first one, which has pretty much been done. So big move down, move up, consolidate, and that second move down. That's the first one, and then this is the second one because this could be seen as a cup and handle. And that brings us all the way down to the bottom here. Okay, so from a daily perspective, gap down, pin bar. This here on the daily is a wise man number one. What I'm looking for is a break or a daily close, above 49514. That will signal a change in direction. Okay. So that's the one thing. The second thing, if I look at this previous low here, and we look at this area here, which is just off it, but I think the important thing here is look at the diversions here. So there you see is high, low, that's a high, a low and a higher low over there. Whereas here you have a lower low. Okay, so some diversions here, probably a good idea to be very cautious if you're looking for shorts. Okay, so looking at the 3 hour, you can see the seller stepped in, buyers came in, seller stepped in again, a lot of confusion, but this is an inside bar, inside bar, inside bar. In other words, this bar fits inside that bar, this bar fits inside that bar, this bar fits inside that bar, and they all fit inside each other. Ignore the last one, that's nonsense data again, but that's the structure that you have here, and this is a bullish signal. Okay, so what you do have here is a fairly strong trend line, and you'd want to see that break. So if we look at the hour, you can see we did get a break. We've come back in the trend. Could be seen as a test as well. Okay, so I think for me at the moment, I suspect we're going to get a gap up, and we'll have a look at that now on Tencent. 10 cents up 0.7%. Futures markets are all up at the moment, but I think that's because of the holiday season. So they're kind of up in the sort of the Dow, especially, is up where it closed on Wednesday at the moment. Crude oil is up 1.6%, which is probably driving that. And Rand dollar 14.63. So nothing else really there. So I suspect we're either going to have a bit of a gap up and consolidate before deciding which direction we're going to go. Okay, now the fact that we've broken through a lot of structure, like the 200 daily EMAs, and we are far from the 200 daily EMA. I mean, we are 840 points away. But regardless of that, I would expect to see us rally a little bit before you pick up on the short. So for me, the trend is down on the daily, but we don't want to be in at the bottom of the trend. We want to be in at the high end of the trend. So I'd be looking for longs today. Okay, and the longs I'm looking for are pretty much, first target would be this area here of 49,514, and then the second area would be a gap close, should we get through there, which is 49,692. Okay, trend is still down. So even getting up into this area, I've been looking for shorts again. Okay, and the trick with this is going to be to keep your stops really tight. And what I'd be doing today on this is specifically look at the 12 minute. Okay, so you can see if I just delete all the noise and we just focus on the fractals, there's my two fractals there. And if I just come to the 30 minute, that's the last hour of trading. Okay, confusion, two pin bars, reverse pin bars, but that is my closing range. Okay, so for the closing range strategy, what I'll be looking for is a break to the upside or the downside, and my targets are the height of the range. So there's the first one, which is slap bang in the middle of the gap, so I'd actually extend that to the gap quite easily, and to the downside it is the low. Let's see if we can get rid of that. Yeah, so to the downside it's a low Friday. Okay, so I suspect that is going to be our range for today. So the bottom side of it should be 48,953, and the upside should be 49,593. Okay, that's kind of my view here today. So I'm definitely looking for a break of these one of these fractals. So to the downside, I'll look for the previous low. To the upside, I'll be looking for probably just short of the gap, just to defend myself against all the ambushes that will come in on the Aussie. Okay, let's just quickly switch across to the Ichimoku. Okay, the 12 minute does make sense. We are bearish, but we're bouncing off the underside of the cloud. So I'll pick this up on there. Sorry, let's not do that. Let's just use the Fibonacci. We can see exactly what the levels are. Okay, so there's our levels, and you can see our range target also takes us straight into the cloud on the 30 minutes. Okay, everything is bearish on the 30 minutes anyway. Range target is Kijinson on the hour, which is still bearish. Okay, and also just bear in mind a close above this swing high actually validates a double bottom. Okay, so range target is Kijinson, You can see there's T-consent on the 4 hour. So everything is bearish, but if you want to be trading with a trend, you want to wait. You want to wait for the pullback and then get in for your shorts, because shorts are still the way to trade until you get a sort of a confirmation that you have a trend change. This here is a signal that I'd need a close above, pretty much above the high. You can run it twice. Sort of the first bar's high there. You can run that as your area of interest. Okay. So in other words, if I get a 4 hour close above 49,428, that could be seen as a signal looking for a turnaround. But again, you're going to come up to Kijinson, you'll bounce back. Then it's a case of forming a higher low, getting back in, and your next target is going to be the underside of the cloud. Get out, wait for the pullback, get back in, and then you're looking for the break. Get out, wait for the pullback, get back in, and so you continue. Okay, so that's kind of the warning bells that I can see at the moment, and especially you've got multiple trend lines here that you need to pay attention to. Okay, so in other words, don't be greedy. There's so much structure here that is going to upset the apple cart. And if I just delete this one here and delete this one here, you'll see I do have a bit of a wedge break to the downside. And this can be a volatile turn as well. So there's lots of signals here that we are near the bottom. But with the Aussie, don't trust anything, because sometimes what happens, it gives you the signals and then it squirts down just to trigger all the stops, and then the guys get in and then they take a trade, and by that time you're licking your wounds because you try to get in too early. So rather wait for the confirmation. Okay. Yeah, and then on the daily, we're kind of playing off the bottom of the cloud. We are bearish signal here, we're bearish signal here, we're bearish signal here, but we're bullish. So it's mixed signals again. So I still would expect some kind of a pullback. And for the daily, the pullback to me should be back to the 200 moving average area, which is around here of 50,000. Okay, so that's kind of the view that I've got at the moment. Is I'm reluctant to be short down the bottom here. I want to be short higher up. So for me, it's a case of looking for the longs, see if we can get in, keep it stops tight, and look for the structure that is going to dictate where you're heading to. Okay, I think the easiest way around this is the 12 or the 15 or 10 minute, and there are my fractals. Okay, so closing range strategy is the way to go today as far as I'm concerned. If we break above 49,377, I'm looking for the gap close. Hopefully that happens before the US opens, because I suspect the US is going to be a little bit volatile. There's been quite a few politicians and journalists and news articles over the last couple of days trying to drive the market. But I suspect it's going to sort of be a little bit volatile in the open and then find its feet and pick a direction and start moving. So we just don't know which direction that is. Okay, so anyway, guys, that's me for today. And it's not much. It's only 200 points. But you're probably going to be looking for a 200-point gain, 200-point risk, 200-point gain. That's kind of what you're looking for. Okay. Anyways, hope it helps, and I will catch you later. Cheers for now.